Championship of the 1980s. Harry shares that car with his dad Henry, who raced yesterday. Grandfather John Rice used to be a regular at Oulton Park in the 1980s in the BARC Northwest Sports Saloon Championship. He had a Jaguar XJ12 automatic that he raced, and he also had a Dolomite Sprint in Production Saloons. And that is the car from the outside of the front row, Paul.
No, what an absolute disaster. That's a bit of damage from the other day, isn't it? I think?
Yeah, that's yesterday's. Don't worry about that.
Jonathan, what an absolute disaster. That is a gutted to see. I really wanted to see how that car got on, and he's devastated. But like you say, these cars are, they're not spring chickens, but they're well prepared, and these things happen, don't they?
They do. Did have a diff issue yesterday. They changed the gearbox, but it was still a bit leaky. Maybe it's a legacy of that. Anyway, we've still got enough to entertain us, whether they are Volkswagens, Triumphs, Rovers. Chris Snowden's Alfa GT V6 for me is the car of the race, because as I say, it's a genuine period touring car, and those Alfa GT V6s just make the world's best noise. Right, so we're good to go. It is going to be 20 minutes. The black Dolomite Sprint of Mark Osborne then on the front row. The lights to go out. A good getaway is made there by Jared Knight's escort that comes storming through from a little bit further back, but Mark Osborne is going to lead the way. Nick Rydrod in the Mark 1 escort slots into second. You've got Harry Hinton starting in the pit lane. The Rovers have all got themselves together with the blue and white car in Kurt Tim's DTM championship winning livery of 1984 just at the head of the queue. Jerry Bailey's car as they come down towards Cascades for the first time. Bailey drops back behind Nick Williamson, and that is all sideways. Tom Harvey's escort having a monster moment.
That was proper Harry Batten spec. That is still going on. I won't be getting on the throttle just on that green stuff, mate, but he did well there. But the leader is still out in front.
The black bits on not the green, the black. Right, Mark Osborne is your leader in the Triumph Dolomite Sprint. They were very successful cars within production saloon car racing and in the British Saloon Car Championship in the 1970s. Number 44 Rover there is Tim Clark as the escorts get themselves together for second and third places, and it's going to be Jared Knight up the inside then in the Mark 2 to get past Nick Rydrod's Mark 1.
Oh, beautiful that, wasn't it? He really got the line down the inside, and yeah, the Capris everywhere, and flames are getting spitting from some of the other cars as well. Absolutely stunning.
And Harry Hinton there from the pit lane. That is the same Harry Hinton that you talk about in minis. We know he's quick.
He is very quick, and his dad's usually driving that car, but Harry getting a little run out. The car looks fantastic. That Opel Kadett is something to watch as we go through this race. But hopefully it doesn't rain too much, because then it will be hard work.
Absolutely right. So one of the cars to watch is going to be Rick Wood, number 123, the Capri. He's gained 14 places so far from where he started on the grid. Now, okay, there were a few gaps ahead of him, but even so, there he is, up the inside of Chris Snowden's ex-John Dooley Alfa Romeo, and the two of them are going to come wailing their way. Capri and Alfa GT V6 both make proper noises.
Yeah, beautiful sound. I haven't heard a sound like this across this start-finish line for a long time. Beautiful. You know what car it is by the sound of it coming across. Absolutely stunning. And Chris Snowden chopping across the front there, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he don't care.
Well, no, he did. He stopped his car, actually. The owner's here to watch it. Let's have a look at earlier dramas from the first lap. This is Tom Harvey trying to regroup after his rally crossing at Cascade round the outside of Harry Rice. Oh, that was nicely done.
That was a lovely job, wasn't it? Loads of brilliant moves around the track, especially with the guest racing that we're having today, because everyone seems to just have no idea about where to overtake, so they just overtake. I love it.
Just have a go. These are non-championship races, in fairness. And oh dear, another driver, Jared Knight, who was running in third place. He's now ground to a halt coming out of the Isle of Ben Hairpin. As now Nick Williamson gets the Rover up the inside. It occupies a lot of room, does the Rover, but he's got through.
Wow, that was like a rugby prop coming at you, wasn't it? Big old car, the SD1, but what a fantastic motor it was back in the day. And it's so good to see these cars going around here.
Absolutely. Going back to 1980, the Rover SD1, or the Rover 3.5 litre as it was then, came into the British Saloon Car Championship. Jeff Allen and Rex Greenspade were the drivers, and by mid-season they were winning. Jeff Allen won the Grand Prix support race at Brands Hatch. And now, look, Nick Williamson is right on the back of Mark Osborne. So you've got the Dolomite Sprint versus the Rover, and Mark Osborne gets out his elbows, and the Dolomite Sprint sort of grows in width. But look, it is absolutely dwarfed by the Rover.
It looks like half the width of it.
Exactly.
I love the Dolomite though. It reminds me of Broadspeed back in the day, and this is proper racing now. And do you know what I love about this? Osborne is not letting it through. Go on, son.
Absolutely right. Come on, Mark, over the line then. Nick Rydrod's Mark 1 escort there on the impudently staying with the Rover. There's a gap back to Jerry Bailey's Rover in fourth place, and that's Rick Wood up the inside line of the Ford Capri to try to get himself ahead of the Rover of Tim Clark, and he gets all sideways. Road's drying out, Rick. Hits the lead battle still. But yeah, Rick Wood and actually Neil Philpotts in that Mitsubishi Mitsubishi Lancer Turbo that was never really a British Saloon Car Championship car, but did go well in road saloons, the real club level category in the UK in the 80s. That's going nicely as well, but still Osborne is in the lead.
This should not be happening. That SD1 should be well out in front, but this is where he seems to get the traction down. He's got a lot of understeer as he comes through that hairpin.
Replay here. That's the Alpha Sun making a big dive to the outside of Sam Fish, and he launches himself through. And, yeah, Harry Hinton's Opel has dropped back a little bit. This was Rick Wood's big slide.
My word. That's just proper Capri stuff,
yeah,
that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Goodwood. Proper.
Absolutely. Or an episode of The Professionals.
Yeah.
So, there's more sideways from Rick Wood. That's more like it, Rick. Go on. Goes sideways through Knickerbrook. This is how Capris were always raced. They were always sideways, weren't they?
Absolutely. Looks like he's actually got those wets on that you said he was too tight to buy.
So he's taking Neil Philpotts along for the ride. This now puts them up into, 5th and 6th places as their Chris Snowden's GTV6 goes through. That's the earlier Capri of Reece Cannell. And Tom Harvey, who suffered a bit of damage on the left front corner in race 1 yesterday, he's still charging along after his scary moment earlier on. Stuart Kai there in the Triple X delivering Capri, the chairman of the Classic Touring Car Racing Club, and Matt Green, number 40, in, as I say, that tribute to Wyn Percy. Wyn won his class every race he did in 1982 to win the championship, and comes now down towards Lodge Corner. It's not that car, but it is an absolute perfect copy, right down to the Wyn 1 number plate that Wyn Percy used to carry.
What a peddler that boy was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Nice of you to mention Stuart Kai as well. He's the big dog, isn't he? And he's the guy that keeps it all together. And yeah, really, really good for the club to have him, and he really gets on board. This is not. You told me this was good. He was going to lap him. You said that. You said he was going to be SD1 gone. See you later.
And it ain't happening, but Neil Philpotts, who's got past Rick Wood, goes exploring, and Rick's all sideways as he tries to get at the inside. Neil Philpotts in that Mitsubishi Lancer Turbo, after all the travails of yesterday, he's going great guns. Actually, he could yet be part of this leading group, couldn't he? Because the leading 6 are pretty much concertinary.
Yeah, definitely. They're all starting to just join up together. Yeah. It's drying out a little bit, so they're just leaning on the tyre a bit more, aren't they? I hope you're not going left, mate, with that indicator on.
Yeah, that's Matt Green getting up past the Dolomite Sprint of Ken Clark, who used to work for TWR, so used to engineer many of the Rovers that ran in the British and European Touring Car Championships. Has Mark Osborne just escaped by a couple of lengths? He has, hasn't he? Under smoke out of the Rover. No!
The Rover has also got a little bit of damage on the rear right as well, so I don't know if it's bodywork that's smoking, but it's smoking from the other side, isn't it? So let's keep an eye on this SD1, but that looks like it's coming from the front, doesn't it? It's got a little bit of damage, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. So the Rover Vitesse, as it's badged, comes up towards the timing line, but Nick Reindroth's Mark 1 Escort now is going to make a move to the inside, and there's not much Williamson can seemingly do that.
No, I wonder where that smoke's coming from. No, that's not good, and it will be a worry. He's sliding around now. That smoke could be some sort of oil, and yeah, that could be game over now.
The other fear is whenever it's dropping onto the circuit as well, isn't it? Which is making life tricky for those behind.
And it's not enough for the driver probably to see that in the mirrors, and
yeah,
he's not going to be looking in those mirrors at all. But these guys in front are really cracking on.
But here's one of the beauties of classic touring car racing. Little Mark 1 Escort versus big Rover 3.5 litre, and they are absolutely nose to tail, while the Drive Dolomite Sprint still holds sway. Nick Williamson's sideways and up the curves.
It's like some David Attenborough program, isn't it? Like horrible wildlife, big beast getting chasing down a little mule.
Well, so far the little mules are surviving, but Neil Philpotts' Lancer is possibly the one to fear, because that is almost up to the Rovers. Yeah, you can see the damage there, and Jerry Bailey there in the blue and white Rover 3.5 litre, as I say, carrying the DTM German Championship winning livery of Kurt Tim from 1984. That is closing, and never mind the fact they're all concertinaing and there's a bit of liquid being spilled. It's also raining.
It's also raining. I've just seen that from that Golf understeered through the hairpin there, so no front grip. So the next time the Capri goes through there, we know it's going to either spin or just be completely large uphill top.
Absolutely. That's Harry Rice in the Golf. It goes back to an era of the Road Saloon Championship, and one of the regulations of that was you had to drive the car on the road to and from the circuit. No trailer, nothing. Brakes were a bit of an issue on the way home from time to time. No, the Rovers have switched. Jerry Bailey goes through, and you do fear now for Nick Williamson's Rover. I don't think it's going to get to the end, is it?
No, it doesn't look like it, does it? And to be fair, Philpott as well in the Lancer, in the Mitsubishi, sorry, that thing. Have you seen the flames that spit out the back of it? Yeah. When he changes gears, it might not do it here. Look at that, top of smoke. It looks like a gun.
But it's the James Bond panel of effects, hasn't he? So now we'll use smoke. That'll deter a Rover. Oh, a big lock up. And all of this is happening with Rick Wood, sadly, dropping back a bit in the Capri in 6th place. Oh, Neil Philpott all sideways. Oh, dear oh Lord.
You see the look at the overrun, the fuel going in the exhaust. That you can tell when he lifts off or changes gear. He had a massive lift when he was going into that. He nearly went in the lake there. That was probably.
I thought the flames related to his heart rate.
Yes, that spiked. ECG on the Mitsubishi.
Exactly. Nick Williamson in the meantime is 5th, and Rick Wood a slightly distant 6th. Let's have a look at some of the others. There you've got Sam Fish and the lovely Alpha Sud. Don't see many of those racing, not many surviving, I'm afraid to say, but that car is very nicely presented. That's Stuart Kye, the man behind the Classic Touring Car Racing Club. That car is a tribute to a 1978 Ford Capri when the great Jerry Marshall drove in those liveries in the British Saloon Car Championship. It wasn't Jerry's best season. We went to a Dolomite Sprint in 1979 and sadly had a huge accident at Silverstone. But that car is a throwback to 1978 and it's a very recognisable colour scheme.
Can you imagine how many youngsters are getting totally bored by their dads down at Cascades? Back in my day, lad.
Absolutely, yeah. See, they go sideways. You didn't have to worry about laps and boost and all of that. Through Lodge Corner they come. That's Rick Wood's Capri. It does look a lot shinier, that track surface now.
It does, and the wind's picked up as well, which would tell me that it's maybe going to rain. Harry Hickton in the Opel Cadet, beautiful looking car. Look, you can tell he pedals a lot at a good level. Look at that, hanging the Cadet out. I bet his dad is on the pit lane going, son, shield your boots, lad.
The tail wags as he comes out of Lodge. Nick Grindrod, former oval racer, goes through. Neil Philpott's up ahead of Jerry Bailey now. Nick Williamson's Smoky Rover, then Rick Wood, then the next of the Rovers, which is the car of Tim Clark. And let's have another look at Neil Philpott's. This is how he got past Jerry Bailey.
That's a good effort, that. I bet he drives like that in the Wirral.
You need to. Good dive that up the inside. So Neil Philpott's is through. Now, while all that's going on, Tom Harvey in that Mark 1 Escort in the Shell Sport colours that you saw on the grass on lap 1 at Cascades, that's done the fastest lap of the race. So he's not totally out of the equation yet to buy back a few more places before the end. And Rick Wood is closing on Nick Williamson, except now Rick Wood goes up the escape road.
He's flat spotted those fronts, isn't he? Beautiful, aren't these cars with the mini lights on them as well.
Yeah. Rejoins, and the car sings its way up Clay Hill. Rick, Capri specialist, both in terms of racing them and engineering them, but he's got a nice selection of other cars like Holden Commodores and Zaxby Group 5 Capris in the collection as well.
Do you think there's anyone at home that's maybe just switched this on, watching, looking for British touring cars, and then think, have I gone into like some kind of time warp? Like, literally, must be questioning their life.
But this was all part and parcel of it. In those days, the British Saloon Car Championship, or touring cars as we now know it, was split into 4 classes largely based on engine size. So you had all of this variety. And okay, it could get confusing at times that people in the baby classes could win the championship, but you had all of this variety. And what you've got here is an example of much of it. That Lancer, like I say, that's not a car from British Saloon Racing, but it was from Super Road Saloon, so slightly modified road cars. And Neil Philpott has had this for a good few seasons, goes really well in it, and he's got past Nick Grindrod. So now Philpott is up into 2nd place, and he started 21st on the grid, remember, and he's not that far behind Mark Osborne.
Yeah, this is proper stuff, this now. He's got a real chance, and to be fair, Philpott, I think I remember him from Oulton Park and instructing. He's done quite a bit round here, but that doesn't matter because he can still hang it out and he gives it large, and I absolutely love this car. Reminds me of something off like Cannonball one or something.
And he knows it inside out as well. And there Stuart Kye gets up the inside to take the place away from the Sam Fish driven Alpha Sud. Accelerating now down towards the King of Denton's. Nick Strong behind him. Tom Harvey on the inside in the Escort. Chris Snowden masquerading as John Dooley in the Alpha on the outside. Harry Hickton's tail wagging Opel with them. Harvey goes through. And Chris Snowden keeping out of trouble. They spent all night working on the clutch of that car after problems yesterday. So it's just great to have that GT V6 on the grid.
You know Chris as well as I do, and And Chris Snowden is one of the most beautiful people that motorsport in the UK has ever seen.
Yeah, you're right.
If anybody needs any help, Chris will come and do it. So I'm hoping people helped Chris last night, because he's got a lot of good family, and a lot of good family here and watching at home down south today. So yeah, good luck, mate.
And he's a proper alphaholic. He's raced alphas pretty much since the dawn of time. He has dabbled in other things, but he is a true alphisi. Right, the leaders then are 0.6 of a second apart with 6 minutes to go. This has got Neil Philpott's name on it, but in fairness, we did see early on that Mark Osborne knows how to defend.
He knows how to defend, but it just depends where he can get the job done. But yeah, Harry Hickton's is throwing up purples as well. So Hickton's going up the ranks here. Oh no, Rick Wood. That's in the pits, isn't it?
It is. Sad to say, Rick Wood's. Oh no! No respect from Harry Hickton's Opal. Oh, Harry. And that, I fear, is the end of that. Yeah, he slows right down. So Harry Hickton, having just been doing, as Paul's rightly saying, absolute best sectors, that's gone pop.
Oh, that's a nightmare. That's what purple sectors do when a pro driver's driving.
Oh dear, oh dear. So Harry Hickton, after coming up from the pit lane, let's have a look at other battles. This is the Sam Fish Matt Green battle. Matt Green masquerading as Win Percy goes through in the Toyota. Nice move. And that's Neil Philpott as he hit the front. Not quite. Not quite.
Oh, he's going though, isn't he?
Yeah.
The flames that come out the back. I'd be protesting that if I was any of these guys. I'd be protesting that. He's running about 15 bar a boost.
Nick Grindrod thinking, I'll get singed if I get too close to the Escort. So the Mark 1 dropping back a little bit. That's Rick Wood. Clambering out the car. Big shame.
That's a gut to that. Look at that. I love Rick though, because he's a lover of motorsport and he does it for the right reasons. Proper guy.
Absolutely. He's another local. It doesn't just race, he sponsors a championship, the BARC, the Northwest Sports and Saloon Championship, has been going for well over 30 years now. Rick is, 40 years. He's been a recent sponsor of that. Right, the gap's opened up again. Mark Osborne's got a bit of a wriggle on. I think he's used his extra lap of boost, hasn't he, here, in modern touring car parlance, because he's got away from Neil Philpott.
Oh, wow. The Dolomite was a real weapon back in the day, which, you know, but the SD1s have gone. He probably thought he was going to get away with this, but now he looks in his rear view and sees the cannonball machine coming flat at him.
And in turn, Neil Philpott is under attack from Nick Grindrod. That Escort now has got much closer over the space of the last lap. Philpott still has the fastest lap of the race, but I wonder whether he's got a problem, because he lost about a second last time and he's not getting away from the Escort now.
No, he's not. You'd think that the Mitsubishi would have the legs on it in the straight line, but yeah, well, Grindrod's on it now. He's going to start making him work hard, but look at the slap. There's no need for that. Just stop it.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. It's great to watch. Don't stop him. So Nick Grindrod in third place, and Jerry Bailey's Rover still rumbling there in fourth. That's not a million miles back. So this race is still up for grabs as they come down towards Hislop's. Neil Philpott's maybe does a bit too much of the brakes, because he's had a lot of work to do in this race.
That car's starting to move around, like you rightly said. That it's, for me, it's the tyres. Watch the scrub of the tyre. The whole four tyres of the cars are just scrubbing across the ground. This will be an interesting move. It's not going to work at Druids, but if you can try to get down the inside and go down to Lodge, I will laugh.
Here he comes then. Nick Grindrod in that Mark 1 Escort. That was another very successful car in its class in the British Saloon Car Championship of the late 60s to early 70s. So Mark Osborne, having had his first win since 2019 yesterday, still leads here. Grindrod at the inside line. He goes through. Can he get it slowed down? He can. And he went to the tail. On 12's inside the car. Locked opposite lock, corrects it. And Nick Grindrod is up in the second place with just under 3 minutes to go.
But look who's lurking in the SD1 though. This is game on.
Jerry Bailey in fourth place then. And if I were Mark Osborne, I'd be tempted to slow down and watch this, because it's great. You've got Mark Osborne, the leader, Nick Grindrod second, Neil Philpott's third, and that is Rhys Cannell, who's gone off at Druids, and I don't like the fact that that is so close to the edge of the road. I fear this might well be a red.
I think
2.5 to go.
That's going to be a red. The safety car is too long. It's a shame that the SD1 was going well. Bailey was looking good.
Well, let's see what happens then. Colin Oakley, the clerk of the course for this race, will be having a look. Jerry Bailey to the inside of Neil Philpott, who sort of gives him room, but then quickly rattles back to the inside line, doesn't he? Fends him off. You've got Stuart Kai versus Matt Green. Red flag, we were right. Sad to say, that car's just too close to the edge of the road, and so the result will be declared. It won't be restarted with 2 minutes to go. Real shame, but I'm afraid to say, on safety grounds, you just couldn't leave that car there, could you?
No, you couldn't. You won't want to see any of these beautiful cars getting driven into, but you know, we had a good old crack at it. He has done a brilliant job. I am very impressed with what he can do there, Osborne. Brilliant stuff.
Absolutely, well done, Mark Osborne. So wins are like buses. You wait for the best part of 7 years for one, and then two come along in quick succession. Well done, Mark. Top stuff. And the fans, even though they're a bit bedraggled here in this very untypical northwest weather, Paul, we need to point this out, don't we? You and I, as the token northwesterners here, they've had a good day, and a good race to watch.
Absolutely. So brilliant stuff from him, and I've got to say the Dolomite was something that I watched early doors when I was younger, and